On the Building tab, once we select the building type and roof type, then we proceed to the section below to enter the specific building dimensions. These dimensions define the geometry of the building and roof. The entries displayed will dynamically change based upon the roof type that has been selected. Some of the entries are dependent upon each other and can be entered multiple ways. In this illustration, we have selected gabled roof. There are 4 entries that are color-coded with a light brown color because they are all related. In this particular entry, the eave height is manually entered and it will not change. However, you may change any of the other 3 entries and the remaining 2 will be automatically updated. For example, if we change the ridge height, then the pitch and slope are updated. If we change the pitch, then the ridge height and slope are updated. This gives the user flexibility in how they want to enter data. The overhang and parapet can be specified. Please refer to videos specifically covering each of those entries. The application automatically overrides the mean roof height based upon the roof information previously entered. In special circumstances, you may check the override mean roof height box and then manually enter the mean roof height to be used in the calculations. Similarly, you may also manually specify the roof area that is to be used if you don't want to utilize the automatically calculated value. The selection of the building type will determine the coefficient for the internal pressure calculation. However, if you wish to override that value, then click the Override G CPI box and then manually enter the value to be used. In ASCE 722, a method for calculating wind loads on an elevated building, and so if you are using ASCE 722, then you will see an option to specify that the building is elevated. This would be used for something like a beach house on stilts. Specify the height that the building is elevated. The elevation type can either be specified as on stilts or manually entered. If manual is selected, then the building is assumed to have somewhat of a skirt around the elevated portion, and then the areas of that skirt are manually specified. For this example, we will assume stilts. The number and dimensions of the stilts are then entered, which are used to calculate the wind loads on the stilts. For ultimate users, some roof types will have a custom roof option. For this example, we have a gabled roof and the custom option is present. By default, the gabled roof is assumed to be symmetrical with the same slope on both sides of the ridge. When we check the custom option, we also now see 2 different roof slopes indicated, one for the positive Y side of the roof and the other for the negative Y side of the roof. With the custom options, we now have many things which can be changed. The ridge can be offset, giving a different slope on each side. We can change our ridge offset back to 0 and then specify a different eave height on each side of the building. When custom roof is used, the output will then have all 4 directions considered for the main wind force resisting system. The custom roof option is visible for the gabled roof, flat roof, and monoslope roof. We have just illustrated the custom options for the gabled roof. The monoslope and flat roof custom options are that the overhang can be specified for each side independently. That is covered in more detail on the overhang tutorial.